Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true.
Lindsay, will you do an interview, Lindsay?
I set this hearing because I had some questions about her compliance with the court's orders. First issue had to do with her being terminated from community service at the Downtown Women's Center for non-appearance and for disruptive conduct, and that she would appear and then leave instead of doing her 4-hour sessions. The other was I had some questions about how she could have attended the court's ordered psychotherapy. As the therapist wrote that she had attended all her sessions, and the court noted that in the shoplifting progress report it said that she was out of the country for a large portion of time. So I put that on the prosecutors to get back to me and to show whether or not she had violated the terms and conditions of probation, and hence set for a hearing today. Which prosecutor wants to go first? Mr. Vera?
I will, Your Honor. I'll start with the counseling sessions first. I have a document from the psychologist, a declaration. I'd ask that that be marked as People's 1, and I will submit a copy of that to the court. And essentially it lays out Ms. Lohan's attendance at the counseling program, at the psychological counseling. And of the 19 scheduled appointments, she canceled 14 of them. And of the 5 sessions that she actually attended, they were supposed to be in 45-minute increments. 3 of those 5 sessions were cut short. She only stayed for 30 minutes because she had other engagements that she felt she needed to attend to.
Okay, the court will redact the name of the psychologist for privacy records. Privacy concerns. Is that all right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So essentially, I know the court had asked that she attend once a week. She attended 3 sessions in charge of making her own schedule at the Downtown Women's Center. They accommodated her. They made special arrangements for her. And essentially, with the Downtown Women's Center, of the 20 scheduled sessions that Ms. Lohan scheduled, she canceled 12 of those. And that's all outlined on the timesheet, which I would ask that that be marked as People's 2.
Fact, Meg, and when she was not going to be there, she called and attempted to set up a different appointment.
The doctor's letter, I believe, was very misleading. And she then wrote a supplemental letter saying that the court misunderstands. The court didn't misunderstand. The court knew exactly what was being said, and the manner and the vagueness in which it was said could only lead somebody to believe that she'd attended all her sessions, and you represented she attended all her scheduled sessions.
Yes.
Well, is a canceled session, I guess, isn't a scheduled session? I don't know. Well, so the issue is what to do now.
Ms. Lohan is going to waive her right to a hearing and admit the violation.
All right, Ms. Lohan, you understand that you have an absolute right to a hearing on whether or not you violated any laws or orders of the court. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you give that right up?
Yes.
And that's in both of these cases. You understand that?
Yes.
Do you admit that you violated probation by failing to obey all orders of the court with respect to both things that the city attorney represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court finds you to be in violation in both cases for failing to obey the orders of the court. Convert all your community service to the morgue. So probation is reinstated on the same terms and conditions with the following modifications, and I want you to listen carefully. You are to serve 300 days in the county jail. That's 150 days on the city attorney SA case and 150 days on count 5, the second time driving under the influence count of the Beverly Hills case. That time will be stayed, and it's going to be stayed as follows. You're to serve 30 days in the county jail now. You are to surrender within 1 week. I understand that you have some work lined up. You are to surrender by November 9th in person to the CRDF, that's the women's jail, and begin serving your 30 days. You are not to be eligible for house arrest, electronic monitoring, and any other early release other than that required by the law. When you get out from that 30-day sentence, you're to report on the next business day to the probation department. I suggest you obey all requirements that Ms. Mansfield sets out for you. And you'll meet with her, as I said, within 1 business day of your release. The remaining 270 days in jail will be stayed as follows, and this is where you need to listen carefully and listen to your attorney. You are to return to this court on December 14th. Between now and December 14th, you are to perform 12 days of community service at the morgue, and you are to attend 4 psychotherapy sessions of 45 minutes. I'm not going to tell you have to do it every week. You have to do the 4 within a month. The 12 days you can do however the morgue schedules you, but you are to obey all of the terms and conditions of the morgue's community service rules. They seem to have an issue with your tweeting. I can't order you to stop tweeting, but if it's one of their rules that you don't tweet about them, don't tweet about them. I've asked them to stop holding press conferences about you too. So come to an agreement, the both of you. You don't tweet about them, but that's not an order. I'm just suggesting, don't tweet about them. They're not to hold press conferences about you. So by December 14th, 12 days at the morgue and 4 psychotherapy sessions. If you do that, then the 270 days will be stayed until January 17. By January 17, you're to perform 12 more days at the morgue and 4 psychotherapy sessions. If you do that, then on January 17, the 270 days will be further stayed to February 15. By February 15, you're to perform 12 more days at the morgue and 4 more psychotherapy sessions. If you do that, then the jail time will be further stayed to March 29. By March 29, you do 17 more days at the morgue and 6 psychotherapy sessions. Then you will have completed everything the court ordered. If you do that, then this jail time will be permanently stayed. The Beverly Hills probation will terminate. The city attorney probation on the SA case will convert to just obey all laws, and we won't have to see each other again unless you do something that violates the law. Okay. You're not to leave the country. You are not to leave the state without Ms. Mansfield's approval, and you're to only leave the state for work, which you have to prove to her that you have work, holiday visits, or visits to your family. This is what we really call putting the keys to the jail in the defendant's pockets. Okay. If there's any violation, Ms. Mansfield's to notify me. She is not to wait until the next court appearance. She'll notify me. If she notifies me, I will revoke probation and put a warrant out for your arrest. I don't want to have to do that. All right. From what I can see of you, you need a structure. And this is a structure. The first time you violate, you'll do the remainder of this 270 days. You're entitled to a hearing. But in order to get this disposition for you, Ms. Holly, what else have you agreed to waive?
We have agreed to waive her appellate rights in the event of any future violation.
Right. You're not waiving your right to a hearing. If you violate, the people still have to show that you violated, or you have to show me that you complied. Now, these are very strict rules. You don't have to accept them. You can just do your jail time and be done with it. Do you accept all these new terms and conditions and modifications?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right. The probation in the Beverly Hills case is extended to April 1. Time in the city attorney case will be hanging over your head. That will be somewhere around 100. You understand all of this, Ms. Lohan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I apologize. We did have an additional request that Ms. Lohan be ordered to reimburse the center for those fees. It was in the amount of $112 that they hired extra security.
Of her heart would like to reimburse them for the problems that were caused.
She's happy to do that, Your Honor.
Yeah.
All right. And in terms of the cost of probation services, I know they have come up with some large amount, like well over $3,000, but that's amortized over the life of probation. So each year you should pay a third of that. But when all of this, if all of this ends on March 29th, probation will convert to non-reporting. Again, it'll just be obey all laws. It will be summary probation. So, Ms. Lohan, like I said, I'm giving you the keys. You're to do these 30 days. You're to surrender by November 9th to CRDF to do the 30 days. I've ordered no electronic monitoring, no house arrest, no early release other than that required by law.
I have a question. In the event that she finishes before,
Wouldn't that be nice?
wouldn't that be nice? I'm assuming that these are minimum requirements and that she is free to do more than that.
I would be the happiest judge in town if she finished this early. The sheriffs would be happy. We'd all be happy.
And if she does finish all of it early, would probation then be terminated at that time?
On the Beverly Hills case, probation would be terminated as soon as she finishes all of the requirements.
Okay, here's our scene outside as Lindsay's about to exit. That's my report today on Lindsay Lohan. She escaped jail yet one more time. I think this Judge Sautner likes Lindsay. She reduced it from a felony to a misdemeanor, and now she's given her till April, but she's going to have to do a lot of time in the morgue. And I don't think Lindsay likes hanging out with the truly dead. It amazes me, though, what a soft deal she's given for known admitted cocaine possession and use and all her other related crimes. Yet at the same time, Michael Jackson was hauled to court, forced to be put in jail for a few hours with handcuffs on totally trumped up charges. Justice certainly is not equally dealt with in America. I'm William Wagner, reporting on Lindsay Lohan and her little bout with the law today in Los Angeles. See you.